Well, the week after was
Oh my gosh, it's freezing in here.
No one on our team wins. Yeah, 1 minute.
All right, it's 7 o'clock. We're going to call the meeting to order. Mr. Phillips, roll call.
Taylor Christian. Here. Harry Lally. Amy White. Here. Ralph Wentz. Here. Marty Evans.
Here. All right, to start off our meeting tonight, we're going to do something a little bit different than normal because we have some state champions in the house tonight. So because of that, we have a little proclamation. And real quick, I just want to speak on the great postseason run you guys had, all the way for coaching staff, the players. You guys played with great integrity, great dignity, but I just want to let you know, even though your season's over, your responsibility hasn't ended yet, because you're not just champions, you're heroes to a whole lot of community members and a whole lot of kids. So you guys are role models too, okay? We also have a proclamation. Oh, thank you, Terry. We have a proclamation I believe Mr. Dunn is going to read for us.
Good evening, everyone. A couple of things before I read the proclamation, and this will be down in the permanent minutes of the Board of Education from here on out. To echo what President Yoakum just mentioned, really it's a great day to be a South Range Raider, great evening. And I'm thinking of two things, how great it is to be a Raider, especially on June 2nd. And if you're sitting in the audience tonight, it's equally as deserving as it was on June 2nd when we won the state championship. But I'm also thinking of things that I walk across and I see things. There's a flag in my backyard, and it reads, "Something great's about to happen." And in my mind, every game I went to, when I saw the sign, the flag, the games I went to, whether it was regular season, district, regional, or state, our team members had that in the back of their head, or maybe in the front of their head, that something good's about to happen. And it really did. And I think that something good that's about to happen is a great motto for everything that you do in your life. It's that attitude. And I know your coaches really drove that home in terms of having the right attitude, the yes I can attitude, and obviously played huge dividends. So we're very proud of the 2018 state champion, Division III state champion, South Range Raiders, our student athletes, our coaches, our managers, our community. It's been a long, long time coming. 49 years. On May 26th, we had our 49th commencement. This coming year, we'll be rolling out, celebrating 50 years of South Range Local Schools. This coming year is our 50th anniversary. How special is it that at the end of the school year, the 49th and going into the 50th, we have our first ever state championship. So congratulations. With that in mind, I'd like to just take a moment. It's a little lengthy, and it should be, because this doesn't happen all the time, so I'm going to read our proclamation. Each of the students will be given an opportunity to come up. President Yoakum will hand them the proclamation in a frame that's been stamped and signed by all 5 board members, treasurer, superintendent, and again, we'll go down forever in the minutes of South Range Board of Education. So I'm going to ask the board to adopt the following resolution. Whereas the South Range High School baseball team on Saturday, June 2nd, 2018 earned the title of Ohio High School Athletic Association State Division III High School Baseball Champions with a 3-2 victory over Coldwater High School. And whereas South Range players and coaches, led by head coach James Hannick, assistant coaches Dr. Don DeChellis, Paul Munson, William Sattler, Daniel Singa, and Ryan Miller, team manager Brendan Miller, and scorekeeper Delaney DeChellis have demonstrated the teamwork and dedication necessary to produce an unforgettable season this year. And whereas South Range was led by Michael Cunningham, Bryson James, Brandon Youngs, Jackson Anderson, Jared Majerski, Samuel Brooks, Nicholas Habeth, Benjamin Rivera Jr., Joshua Steer, Christopher Brooks, Matthew Lucas, Justin Murray, Christopher Scandy, Nolan Shannon, Gavin Batdorf, Luke Blasco, Luke Krumbacher, Brady Dixon, Jacob Gehring, Dominic Pasquale, Michael Perry, and Garrett Sheets at the Ohio High School Athletic Association State Division III Baseball Championship Series held at Huntington Park in Columbus, Ohio. Whereas South Range players and coaches have created a positive image for their peers and the citizens of South Range community and surrounding areas. And whereas South Range has exhibited outstanding athletic ability and great sportsmanship both on and off the field, thereby bringing pride and recognition not only to the team itself, but also to the entire community and its citizens. Whereas the 2018 Raider baseball team should be recognized for their record-breaking state championship season, hard work, good sportsmanship, and dedication. And whereas the South Range Local School Board of Education wishes to recognize the state champion baseball team players, coaches, managers, teachers, staff, and fans that supported the Raiders during their championship season. Whereas the 2018 Raider baseball team shall be recognized as the first varsity athletic team to earn a state championship title in the 49-year history of the South Range Local School District. Now therefore be it proclaimed that the South Range Local Board of Education officially acknowledges the talents, skills, teamwork, sportsmanship, and successes of the 2018 South Range High School Raiders baseball team, the 2018 Ohio High School Athletic Association Division III state baseball champions, and on behalf of our citizens is hereby extend this expression of our pride in this prestigious milestone on the 11th day of June 2018. Congratulations to all.
To approve that? Amy moves. Do I have a second? Terry seconds. All those in favor? Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries.
Ask Mr. Farron and Mr. Rowan. I know you have probably a couple of comments you'd like to make. Mr. Farron, Mr. Irons are going to announce the team members' names, come up onto the stage, and President Yoakum will hand them their proclamation in frame.
I would just like to congratulate the baseball team on their fabulous run. Mr. Yoakum, you asked me after the game how many teams went into the state tournament with a losing record and won it. It went three teams. Three teams have in the entire history of the OHSAA baseball state tournament have went in with a losing record and ended up state champs. There's a lot of teams that have been state champions. You're one of three. You guys did a tremendous job this year. Coach Hannick, Coach Munson, Coach DeChellis, Coach Sattler, Coach Miller. B, yes. I'm not talking about you, B, when I say Coach. I'm talking about your brother and Coach Masinga. They did a great job because their schedule, looking at it, wasn't very easy. Gentlemen, your hard work paid off. The best thing about it is, and I'm going to say it again when I come up and speak in a little bit, your new schedule might be even more challenging. But now you see the benefits it pays off from playing that schedule. Congratulations. If we could have you come up when I read your name and get the proclamations from Mr. Rowan and Mr. Yoakum. Coach Jim Hannick. Coach Don DeChellis. Coach Paul Munson. Coach William Sattler. Coach Dan Masinga. Coach Ryan Miller. Team manager does everything that he's asked to do, Brendan Miller. Scorekeeper Delane DeChellis. Michael Cunningham. Bryson James. Brandon Youngs. Jackson Anderson. Jared Bajerski. Sam Brooks. Nick Habeth. Ben Rivera. Josh Steer. Chris Brooks. Matt Lucas. Justin Maury. Chris Scandy. Nolan Shannon. Gavin Backdorf. Luke Blasco. Luke Crumbacher. Brady Dixon. Jake Gehring. Dom Pasquale. Mike Terry. And Garrett Sheets. Again, I think we need to give them another round of applause for all their hard work.
Anyone else? Mr. Rowan? Coach, anyone? Yeah. Oh, no, sir.
I want a speech personally.
We do have a certificate from the United States House of Representatives, certificate of recognition hereby presented to all the team members. You all get one, and coaches for winning the Ohio High School Athletic Association Baseball Division III State Championship, signed on the 11th of June, Phil Johnson, Member of Congress. So again, we don't have all of them with us today. I do believe we'll be mailing them or getting them to you as individuals or to your coaches. So congratulations once again on a fantastic season, and what you brought back to the South Range community will never be forgotten. You have this for the rest of your lives, guys. Your parents, your relatives. This is something you'll never forget, and we couldn't be more proud of you. Congrats. Thank you. I'm sure they have other events.
They are, we wanted to reward them, not punish them for a board meeting, so you guys are more than welcome to leave. It's okay. Next thing up on our agenda is the approval of minutes from the May 21st meeting. Do you have a motion? Terry motions, do I have a second? Taylor seconds. All those in favor? Any opposed? Motion carries.
Just shoot me.
All right, Mr. Phillips, please follow up our state champions.
Well, our current fund balance in the regular general fund as of the end of May was $2,526,129.25. Numbered against that, $433,125.92, leaving an unencumbered balance of $2,093,003.33. The school bus fund you see is a negative $12,099. We have our year-end appropriations meeting on June 30th. We'll be doing transfers and advances that will transfer out of the general fund into the bus general fund to correct that negative, as well as the lunchroom fund. We still have about $32,000, $33,000 coming back from the nutrition group, which will eliminate what you're seeing as a $25,483.72 deficit. So we actually have, we're still waiting on some revenue there. I'm sure we may be waiting on some state revenue there too. Everything looks good there. This week, we have until the 15th this year, ODE just released to do project cash requests. We had a payroll last Friday, so 500 towards the end. We have small negative balances, but I'm going to try to get the cash requests to get rid of $2,600 or $2,900 negative balances on the federal grants. And even with those small balances, hopefully our contingencies, we won't have to go into too far at all this year. So the reconciliation, I forgot to tell you about all funds. Our current fund balance, cash balance at the end of May for all funds was $4,0291.61. Covered against that, $550,485.63. Leaving an uncovered balance of $3,451,805.98. Of the $4,0291.61 cash fund balance, it's invested as follows. Star Ohio, $231,448.89. Home savings account, $1,003,088.13. Farmers Suite, $1,862,838.62. And petty cash of $780 as it is every month. And when you do all the plus and minus math there, it comes out to $904,135.97. And it proves out as follows. Our regular farmer's account, $849,989.22. We had a payroll on the last day of May, and so we had a deposit in transit for June payroll of $81,931.74. General fund outstanding checks, $27,200. We start over $27,784.99. And when you do all that math, it does move out at $904,135.97. That's it for the regular financial report, revenue account, account summary, and check pay reports that you received. Are there any questions on that? Now, if not,
All right. Any questions or discussions for Mr. Phillips? Do you have a motion?
So moved.
Ralph moves. Do I have a second?
Second.
Taylor seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is district reports and good news. Mr. Dunn.
Pass over the building level good news tonight. As most of the good news was reported, we have some other reports I'd like to get to. I have Mrs. Pierce representing Nutrition Group Food Service. Anything tonight? Pierce?
Hi, everyone.
Hi, everybody. So as we wrapped up the end of the school year, I would say that it went very, very well. I'm already working on the lunch menus for next year, even though we've been out for about a week. Tomorrow, I'm going to Zanesville, Ohio. Nutrition Group's having a big meeting in Zanesville about upcoming specials and events and new breakfast and lunch ideas for next school year. So I hope to bring a lot of those back for the school year. For those of you who have not seen the garden, it is on the elementary side to the right of the loading dock. So if it's still sunny out, when we leave, I highly suggest you go see it. Everything started to pop up. I have potatoes, sunflowers, dahlias, watermelon, squash, tomatoes, and peppers. So hopefully, I know the rain this weekend, they got a good drink this weekend, so it's going very well. Here I have Kathy. She's a regional manager from Nutrition Group. She has a couple things to talk about.
Hello. So in front of you guys, I have a handout about lunch prices and how they're established. We are suggesting an increase for next year. And this is per the USDA. Each school district has to fill out a paid lunch equity calculator workbook every year, and that pops out a number as to like how much we should raise lunch prices for the next school year. So basically, the USDA wants to make sure that a student meal is equitable or close to what the district receives in federal and state reimbursements for free meals. So that is how these lunch prices are established. And if you flip to the back of this workbook, I wrote up here how, like all the participation for the paid lunches, and then I have to plug in what the paid lunch prices currently are, and that pops out what our weighted lunch price is. So it is suggesting that we increase high school and middle school lunch prices by 5 cents, and then elementary school lunch prices by 20 cents. So obviously that is per the board's approval. But yeah, so I just wanted to present that information to you for next school year. So.
You talk about why elementary is more than the others.
So the elementary school lunch price, I don't think we have, and you'll have to help me out with this because this is Lisa's information, but I don't think we've increased it for quite a while. So I think that's why that's suggesting a bigger increase than the high school and middle school. And if we do this increase, we won't have to increase lunch prices next school year or the following school year. So we're suggesting just do it all now and get it out of the way. But I can have Lisa follow up with more detail later. But I just
And I believe this is something that we're looking to improve, I believe, next week. Is that
We
correct?
could either, it could be for consideration, end of this month, we do have a special meeting, appropriations, or it could be the July 16th meeting.
Okay. So yeah, if you guys have any questions in the interim, let Jim know and he can ask through us.
Mr. Farron?
Our athletic report, I'm going to again say it because it is something very, very special. Congratulations to the baseball team. They've left, but everyone in here knows how hard they worked. Okay, they put the time and effort in. Most of them are leaving tonight because they have to go play games for the summer teams that they're playing on. So they do put forth that time and effort, and it paid off for them. So I would like to congratulate them again. We didn't have a state champion in track and field, but we did have 4 individuals that went down and participated in the state track meet. Cameron Tarr ended up placing 7th in the Division II and the 800-meter run. I believe he broke the school record in doing that. Katie Axel placed 8th in the discus. Ian Pearson was 14th in the mile, and Matthias Combs, by his time, would have ended up 14th in the 100 meters. So we had 4 individuals go down there, and when we're saying this is what, second year we've been Division II?
Division II at least.
Second year we've been Division II, so you're going up against the schools that we are going into the new league with. You're going, up against the Polands and everything, and our kids we had a lot of district champions. We had a lot of kids qualify for the regional meet, and we had a lot of school records broke by the track team this year. So I'd like to acknowledge them and congratulate those individuals for the fine job they did. It's an exciting time. Coach Irons, myself, we're going into a new league next year, and I can't wait for it. I can't. The only sport we're not going to be in that league is football. Every other sport, we can get our kids back now getting all league honors, winning league championships, which we've been denied. So that's an exciting part of it. A lot of the teams that we have in our programs this year have already started to play those teams in the sports that we have here and done very, very well. But I am just excited. There's a lot of new teams we're going to be playing that a lot of you may not know where their school is. A lot of you may not know anybody that plays on their teams, but I see this as being a very good league, and it's going to start a lot of good new rivalries for South Range athletic programs. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Farron. We not have our school resource officer, Purple Hartman, tonight here, but we do have Mrs. Sherry Lewis, curriculum and instruction.
Try to read this loud enough. I'm not even gonna use it.
We didn't say that.
You don't need to. So a couple months back, I reported that our administrative team worked together to write a local literacy plan in conjunction with the Mahoney County Educational Service Center in hopes that we would receive the Striving Readers Grant at the state level. And it came in a little bit late, but we did get the grant for $1.2 million. There are 14 schools in the consortium. So we're now working on how those materials will be utilized with our buildings and our teachers to improve our literacy strategies, not only in the reading areas of reading, but also in the content areas. So we're really excited. It was really, really hard work, and now it's even going to be harder work, but it's work that is going to definitely benefit all of our students as we progress through these next 3 years of the grant. So, woohoo, yay! All right, now that 1.2 is divided up between all the schools. Yes, that's a great question.
Let's be clear about that.
Yeah, I would like to take it all for South Range, but actually it's in the form of resources. So they're purchasing some kits for us for literacy as well as some of the interventions. So yeah, we're super excited about it, and it will be distributed. I guess the others can have some too. Okay.
It's also for professional development.
The county will be the fiscal agent? Is that
Yes.
Nice job. Thanks.
Good things are about that. It's very good. Thank you. Mr. Dunn is not here. Mr. Pagnotta, Technology Indoor Facilities.
Good evening. Not much since the last board meeting I spoke at, but I did want to mention, if you have the opportunity to do so when you're on your way out, look at the gym lights. We did complete our first LED project. We did the high school gym, middle school gym, mezzanine, and I think it's great. So this is a rollout. This is phase one, and in the future we're looking at potential parking lot lighting, and then hallways, classrooms, and just throughout the facility. We're always looking at ways. Of course, if you've been here before, you know the auditorium is done as well. The house light here is LED, so we're always looking at ways to save money. Also, you might notice across the street at the Rominger complex, there's some signage that we do have video surveillance there. It's just something we're moving to keep a better eye on things, some added security. So there are cameras around the Rominger complex, keeping an eye on things for us there. That's about it. We're just doing what we do for the summer, tearing down and cleaning up and rebuilding into the next school year. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right, going through the agenda, first thing up for discussion is OHSAA membership for the 2018-2019 school year.
Very commonplace for the month of June. Heavy athletics tonight. This is our membership, renewing our membership into the Ohio High School Athletic Association for the 18-19 school year. We're recommending that to happen. There's a card for you if this is adopted. It's for you to sign and we'll send it back in to be members for 18-19.
Any discussions or questions? Seeing as there's none, next up is the transfer of funds from the class of 2018 to the class of 2019.
Speaks to itself. The class of 2018 that just graduated may have unused funds and will go into the class of 2019's account.
Next up, is there any questions or discussions on that? I'm sorry. Next up is we have 3 handbook adoptions for consideration for 2018-2019.
Very few changes. All of you as board members have the highlighted changes in your possession from last week. With your approval, they'll go out to print and we'll have the handbooks for our students on the first day of school on August 20th. I'm not sure if Mr. Rowan or Mr. Zolik, anything in particular, I'm sure they can answer if you have anything to ask in terms of changes. House Bill 410, the attendance policy is probably the biggest change. We sent an addendum out somewhere before mid-year, it's mid-year school year, and that is now in place in the handbook for 18-19.
Any questions or discussions on that? Next is food service management contract for 2018-2019 school year.
I'm going to be recommending we continue with the nutrition group for food service management for 18-19. Very little change in terms of terms and conditions in their contract.
Any questions or discussions? Next is youth intensive services contract 2018-2019.
This is going to be a new resolution. Our administrative team has been meeting with representatives from YIS, also known as Youth Intensive Services. It's a school-wide mental health behavioral intervention service that's free of charge to Medicaid eligible students. Parents would consent to services provided by YIS. They have a licensed mental health professional on site here at the K-12 complex. I'm very, very pleased to report, at least in our early workings with YIS, that I think they'd be very, very much an advantage, beneficial to our school system. Having that on-site ability for behavioral and mental health issues, again, but it is for free of charge to Medicaid eligible students, so no charge to the district.
Any questions or discussions on that?
One thing I'd like to say on that. So one of the nice things that I was told by one of the people that works at Youth Intensive Services is they never really know when they're going to be looking for more aides. So if anyone personally knows any of the aides that were laid off, there's obviously no guarantee that they would be able to get employment there, but if they're looking for something, there would be an all right place to start, because like I said, they never really know when they're going to be adding more people depending on how many more schools add them. So if you know anyone, let them know.
Thank you. Any other questions or discussions? All right, next up, we have a handful of board policy adoptions.
And this was presented at the May 21st meeting. This would just be reiterate, they're all revised. And Mr. Christian mentioned there are a couple typos in the body. Those will be corrected. Obviously, before Neola prints them, we get a draft copy back. But the body, the intent, the revisions, no changes there.
And the last thing we have to discuss is special board meeting date. We're looking, we talked about potentially Friday, June 29th at 7 a.m. And Mr. Phillips, do you want to speak to why we need the special board meeting?
Every year, we have to adjust final appropriations. June 30th, working Saturday, we will do it on June 30th. And it's on the last day of June, because that's the end of our fiscal year. And once the end of the fiscal year is done and all the expenses and revenues are in, through that date, we have to adopt final appropriations.
All right, is June 29th at 7 a.m. good for everybody?
Then we're all going to the Boosters Club copy.
That is June 29th.
I'm not good at golf.
I'm sure the athletic boosters have the pamphlets to send out to you.
Perfect. All right. Next up, it's public participation for agenda items. Just want to reiterate our public participation policy as stated by bylaw 0169.1. The public participation section is strictly for those listed on the agenda, and we will have a time for public participation for non-agenda items later on in the evening. Just a reminder that any comments that are frivolous, repetitive, harassing, or antagonistic and too lengthy will be prohibited, and I'll hold everybody to these standards, and everybody's allowed 2 minutes for comment. So if anybody wants to talk about any of our agenda items, you have 2 minutes. You come to the microphone. Don't all rush up at once, it's okay. All right. Seeing as there's none, we're going to go back through and vote. All right, first up is OHSAA membership 2018-2019. Do I have a motion?
I motion.
Terry motions. Do I have a second?
Second?
Amy seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the transfer of funds from the class of 2018 to the class of 2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Second.
Ralph motions, Terry seconds. All of those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is the elementary school student handbook adoption for 2018-2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Amy moves. Do I have a second?
Second.
Terry seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is middle school student handbook adoption for 2018-2019. Do I have a motion? Taylor motions. Do I have a second?
Second.
Amy seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is high school student handbook adoption for 2018-2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Ralph moves. Do I have a second?
Second.
Amy seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is food service management contract for 2018-2019. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Taylor moves. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ralph seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next is youth intensive services contract 2018-2019. Do I have a motion?
Second.
Terry motions. Taylor seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Board policy adoption. Do I have a motion?
Motion.
Terry motions. Do I have a second?
Second.
Ralph seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last thing is a special board meeting date, and we'll be having that Friday, June 29th, 2018 at 7 a.m. Do I have a motion?
So motion.
Amy motions. Do I have a second?
Second.
Terry seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Next up is public participation for non-agenda items. If anybody's willing to step up to the microphone. Okay, Mr. Dunham, May, June, July district update.
Okay, well, very quick here. Since our last meeting, as you witnessed tonight, a lot of good things have happened. Obviously, we, on May 26th, were part and witnessed the class of 2018 graduation. One of the, I don't want to say better, they're all good, but it was a 65-minute commencement, very dignified, and a lot of great speeches by our kids. And I just thought it was just well done, and that's many thanks to our high school staff, Mr. Rowan, and everyone involved in it. So can't say enough about that. Congrats again to our state track qualifiers. Observing the last day of school, May 31st, for our students and staff. Many thanks to our wonderful staff that really works hard. Many thanks to our students for running through the finish line and their willingness to make South Range a great district. As we wrap up the 2017-18 school year, many thanks to all of our department heads, food service, maintenance, technology, transportation, special education, all our building principals, and all the people, and obviously the 5 board members, treasurer's office, my secretary, EMIS coordinator, a lot of people behind the scenes doing a lot of good things to make South Range a great place to be. And they've not disappointed. So many thanks to everyone that's been part of it. Every month I talk about school safety. We're still working on plans to make this is a safe and secure building in the school district. That's continuous. You may have noticed last week and now Monday, ground's been broken for the construction of our team locker room, which is phase 3 of the stadium project. We hope to have this building ready to go for the start of the fall sports season. Thanks to our athletic boosters, and special thanks to Mr. Ralph Whitmer, Mr. Nelson Whitmer for their significant monetary and labor donations to get this building started. The athletic boosters, with that said, with Mr. Whitmer or both Whitmers and the athletic boosters, there still is a need for funding for that team room, locker room. So it's going up, but it's going up on the shoulders of a few people financially, and we can use any support financially to help the athletic boosters get this team room completed. Also, right just to the southeast of that team room, the band shell. Many thanks to Mr. John Donady and his crew. Mr. Donady donated his time, labor, the material, which was concrete, to completely pour and finish the band shell floor last week. It looks beautiful. They donated labor, and as always, our community members continue to step up and amaze me, and I'm sure our board and everyone in here with the generosity and support. So again, I've said it 10 times tonight, many, many thanks to those behind the scenes and help make a difference, not just in our athletic programs, but all of our programs inside the building here and outside. So for me, in conclusion, it's been a great night. Not very many school systems can talk about what we talked about tonight. We shall be proud of this community. I appreciate our great students, our school board, community, and everyone's support for making what I would deem this a great year to be at South Main. Thanks to everyone. I appreciate it. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you, Mr. Dunn. Last thing on the agenda is executive session. If we went into executive session, we would be going in under Ohio Revised Code 121.22 for the purpose of confidential discussion of employment of a public employee or official, to discuss the compensation of an employee, to consider the sale of property at competitive bidding, and to discuss school security protocol. Do I have a motion?
I'd like to speak. Again, the same I said last month. I do not believe that we need to go into executive session every single month. I think quarterly discussion on school security protocol would be a good idea. But otherwise, executive session is for a very limited scope and for very specific instances. And this month, at least, in the personnel that I read through in the resolution that we were given, I do not see a reason to be away.
Okay, thank you.
What you see on the agenda is
Well, we do have a motion. We'll go through a roll call vote.
So moved.
Amy moves, to have a second.
Second.
Ralph seconds. Roll call.
Taylor Christian?
Nope.
Terry Lally? Ralph Wentz?
Yes.
Amy White?
Yes.
Corey Oakley?
Yes. The board enters executive session at 7:44 p.m.
He said they wanted to discuss.
Oh, okay. Good to know. Hey, how you doing? Hey, George. What's happening?
Hello there.
Hi.
Good. How you doing, man? Good. Hey, you guys did a great job
Just gonna let it go.
Oh, I do too.
The guy that makes all the sauces.
Yeah. Danny.
Or Danny. Kenny does the sauce. He's putting all this stuff in. He never measures nothing. He just pouring it. He knows exactly how much to go in it.
Okay, it was good, man. It was a good dinner.
Not bad price either, I don't think.
Oh my gosh, I didn't think honestly, I didn't think it was like great.
Yeah, I take a note. Yeah, I like it. I know. I even thought about teaching here. They have opportunities to teach that too. Yeah, so I did. Sure to go to check it out. There's Catholic first. Yeah, I like to. Yeah, it's not that far away. Good. Yeah. Well, if you need anything, Steve.
There you go.
Is it on? It's 8:02. We're coming out of executive session. Mr. Gunner.
I'm going to be asking your approval for 1819 for following people as substitute teachers. Mamie Spencer, Mary A. Approve as itinerant or substitute bus drivers, cafeterias, custodial aides, teacher aides. Nancy Valentine, Davian Stanley, Lisa Lumsden. Have an MOU between South Range Education Association and South Range Local Board of Education for 1819 school year. Shall be acceptable with the approval of SREA President, Superintendent, and Board of Education to combine 2 supplemental contracts and modify the base salary percentage for the positions. Facility Coordinator 5% and Fine Arts Center Coordinator 5%, equaling 10% as the Facility Coordinator position and Fine Arts Center Coordinator position combined. Approve Frank Dispenza as an interim marching band assistant for the months of July and August. Mr. Dispenza's long-term substitute benefit compensation contract will be continued through August 31st, 2018. Approve the following for Success by 6, 2018 United Way Summer Program. Teachers Susie Kulianis, Allison Zwingler, Jerry Less, Nikki Cardinal, and Marley Ridgely. Aides Carla Bear, Stephanie Coleman, Donna Main, Sue Durr, and Andrea Seidler. And Nurse Kim Peterson. Approve the following as summer camp extended school year aides for David Singleton and Braden Faseska, Michelle Callis, and Gina Calpin. Approve the following supplemental contracts for the 1819 school year. Brock Miller, lead mentor, Brock Miller, mentor teacher, Joanne Kane, newspaper advisor, Lisa Gorby, ticket manager, noted at 3%, Jim Hannick, varsity baseball, Tony Foster, event principal replacement dean, Jeff DeCesar, event principal replacement dean, Jeff DeCesar, high school band and high school vocal, Katie Toy, high school cheerleading advisor, Kristen Scott, high school student council, Kim Vizdos, middle school vocal and elementary Christmas program director. Approve the following extended time contracts for 1819 school year. Erica Berkey, high school guidance, Brenda Pettit, middle school guidance, Rosanna Plashinsky, district librarian, Kristen Scott, high school family and consumer science, Jeff DeCesar, high school band, special ed teachers, 3 days plus 2 days release time, Courtney Chandler, Melody Quiros Cruz, Susan Kelly, Tracy March, Sherry Sheehan, Carol Dawson, Jennifer Amendola, Jennifer Benson. Lastly, approve Eric Bodine to perform school bus body repairs at a rate of $28 per hour, Bodine, as approved by the Director of Transportation for the summer of 18. Mr. Bodine will be reimbursed for supplies that are pre-approved to use as per documentation received, reviewed, and approved by the Director of Transportation.
Mr. Gunner, I'm going to pull out Katie Toy because she's related to a board member, and we'll do a roll call on her.
There's a roll call on all these as well.
Do we want to do it separately? Yeah, we want that. All right, let's do Katie Toy first. So Katie Toy, do I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Rob motions, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Terry seconds. Roll call.
Taylor Christian?
Yes.
Terry Lally?
Yes.
Ralph Wentz?
Yes.
Corey Yocum?
Yes.
Amy White?
Okay, now for the rest of the personnel. Do I have a motion?
So motion.
Terry motions, Amy seconds. Roll call.
I'm finding it.
I'm sorry, Jim. I know.
Taylor Christian?
Yes.
Terry Lally?
Yes.
Ralph Wentz?
Yes.
Amy White?
Yes.
Corey Yocum?
Yes.
Who seconded?
Amy seconds. All right. Adjournment. Let's move.
Wait a minute. Late this afternoon, I was reading a document that reminded me in April, when I was at the Treasurer's Annual, I had mentioned to the board at one other point that there's within the last several years, new legislation has been adopted by the Ohio House that allows for the combination of renewal levies. As you know, we have two renewal levies coming up back to back, and then we have a those three renewal levies, some of them are very old and the millage is pretty far down. There would be no new taxes with combination levy. All you're doing is taking all three, in our case, the three levies we have outstanding, and combining those into one levy. This does a couple of things. First and foremost, it helps reduce levy fatigue so that you're not asking constituents every year, vote, and having to tell them it's no new taxes. We have a levy that was passed originally in 1988, another one that was originally passed in 1996, and another one that was passed in 2004. One expires at the end of fiscal year 19, one at the end of fiscal year 20, and one at the end of fiscal year 22, I believe. And so I would like at this point, we would have to get a resolution for the necessity to renew these levies, and then pass another resolution in July for the necessity to proceed, because we would have to register, I would have to deliver to the County Board of Elections the ballot language to put this on this November, if the board would wish to do this after discussion, by, I think it's October the 8th at the latest. And so we're kind of against the wall time-wise if we want to consider this, but if we do it this calendar year in November, we should be, because of the actions that the board took last March for cost reductions. As you know, in May you adopted a new 5-year forecast that takes us through 22 as far as being able to get through the fiscal year with a positive balance. So I think this would give a few years of peace to the board and to our constituents as well. If you're interested in this, what I would do is try to arrange, I don't know whether we'd have to have a separate board meeting or if I would be able to get legal counsel to come down at 7 in the morning. I really wouldn't want to have to do that for several reasons. I'd rather it be where the public can feel comfortable coming as well. But, the other option, if you don't combine all three, as you know, we have one that we do have to renew either in 19 or this November. We're allowed to put it on this November. So your options are put it on in November, don't do anything, just put one on in the same one that needs renewed, put it on in May and or November of next year, or take all three of them and because again, they've been on the books for so long, it would be no new taxes, no new tax rates, no higher tax rates, but it would combine it all and then it would just vote one time.
So the only real downside then would be, I believe it's on the last of the renewals. If we combine them, the only downside was we'd be losing 1 year, right?
Well, it depends on which levy you're talking about, like the one that's not going to be renewed until 2022, effective 23, we'd be losing
A couple years.
Yeah, a couple years.
Yeah, but other than that, I'm
But you're not really losing anything, you're just saying instead of taking out till 2032 before you renew it again, assuming it got renewed in 2022.
10 years from then is when you would renew it again. So, in this case, in 2000, if it were to pass in 2018, in 2028 is when you'd have to rerun that again.
Now, the other downside, as these levies progress, as you know, as the value of the district rises, the millage required to raise that amount of money in these emergency levies, because they're a dollar figure levy, lowers. Just for example, the $430,555 1988 levy, originally voted at 7.6 mils, is now down to 2. So we would say 2 plus whatever the 1996 levy is, plus whatever the 2004 levy. And it could be a big number, but it's no new taxes. And what it does do is say you don't have to come back and vote again next year and then skip a year and then come back again. There is one other downside. If it ever failed, we're in big trouble because all three of our operating levies would be going away.
So that would be the risk.
Now you wouldn't run that putting it on now, but just in future, every 10 years you'd be sweating bullets hoping that you didn't lose it all. On the other end of that, every 10 years that's going significantly less millage each time.
You would like to think that your valuation in 10 years, long-term, property values will always increase. So your valuation, you'd like to think in 10 years would go up. And so whatever that number is in 2018, you'd like to think in 2028 it's going to be a lower number. Just like you're saying, you know, from 86 till now, 7 to 2, right? So.
I think the consideration for Mr. Phillips talking about this is we have a special meeting on June 29th, June 29th, and one on July 16th, our regular meeting. These decisions, and this is just topic, just talk tonight for everyone to consider. If we really wanted to fast track and combine, we would need to do either 2 meetings in July or have a resolution at the end of June for this to combine all 3. I don't know if the board's up for that yet or not, but it's something to consider. If at the end of June you say, you come to Mr. Phillips and I and say, I think this is something we want to consider, we could have a couple of meetings in July, and then it would be adopted, a necessity, and the resolution to proceed, if I'm not mistaken, is what it would be called in July, in terms for Jim to go to the auditor, county auditor in August.
I mean, I am in the camp that as Jim, I think, alluded to, I'd like to do it in the evening where it doesn't appear that we're trying to skirt something underneath the table, because obviously anybody's going to have to vote on it anyhow. But I must say, though, I'm kind of in the camp to put the combination of the 3 out there, at least at the first shot in 2018, and if it goes down hugely bad, that we can't get that communicated, then we have 2 shots in 2019 to pass the one that has to be passed in 2000 by sometime by the end of 2000.
You're right. There's a lot of variables to this. That there's upside, there's downside to it, and
It's a little bit complicated, but the real question as a citizen is, would I rather vote for everything that I'm already paying now once every 10 years, or in little bits 3 different times over 10 years? And that if they don't, I don't know how people would feel about that. I know personally, I'd rather just do it once and be done with it, because generally our history has showed renewals do pretty well as far as passage rates.
And that's what it is, it's renewal, not a levy.
It's a renewal of 3 existing levies, but they're combining those 3 renewals all in one, so that people only have to vote once every 10 years instead of in 3 different installments every 10 years.
My sounds like we should consider looking into it.
I agree. I think, when's the very last date that we would have to pass it by? Do you know that date?
Well, I would have to have the resolution of necessity if we had a Our July meeting is going to be the 3rd Monday. The second, you have to do this in 2 resolutions. By the July meeting, the second one would have to be done. Give me time to get to the county auditor, get it certified, come back, and get it to the Board of Elections, and get it on the ballot for them. So we can either do it in June or have a special early in July.
We'll bring the timeline back to you at the end of June, so you have the exact dates that we would need to meet if we decide to do this.
Because I
have some time to research.
Yeah, and I'm kind of in the camp with Ralph. I think this is a really good move. I just think having something in the evening, maybe more of a...
Well, the first one, and then the second one, obviously have it done at the regular meeting, so that anybody that's here, absolutely, we haven't called a special meeting to try to get it, but the first reading, whenever that, how long is the gap got to be between first and second reading?
Say, I think I'd have to check that.
That's why it would be important just to have that information for the June 29th meeting, and then we can make a decision. Is there another special meeting that needs to be approved for July before the July 16th?
Before the July 16th. July 16th, is that what you said?
Correct.
If the board can decide tonight that you're interested in it, I can at least progress with the legal counsel to get drawn up what it would look like for you. Bring it to the June 29th meeting, and then you can decide, let's do this on July 7th at an evening meeting, or you can pass it that day, and then obviously it would be in the paper for people to come to the regular meeting, the second time around. I prefer them not learn about it. You know, if everybody watched this, it would be great, but I don't think they do. I prefer they not learn about it the first time by reading it in the paper without us having
Some kind of a forum or meeting, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
I have a feeling that if people can understand it, that they're going to prefer this and would like it. Because again, it's no new tax rates. It's just combining what we already have to lessen levy fatigue, meaning, geez, every year I got to go vote again for a levy.
But how again, you don't know that, but how rewarding, that's what I guess I want to see, is so people, the perception is it'll be a replacement. That's what it'll say when we go to.
No, it's a combination.
A combination.
Yeah, replacement's different. What a replacement does, if we were running a replacement levy for the example I used, the 1988 levy originally voted at 7.6 mils, it would replace that 2 mils that it's charging now back to 7.6.
Okay.
That's new money.
Yeah,
We don't
that's
want to
new
do
money.
that.
No.
We just want a combination renewal.
We want a combination renewal.
But at least if we run that in 18, and if we see it goes down hugely, then we've got 19 to run the one.
I think if it were to go down at all or hugely, it would be because it's a new way of doing things and we didn't communicate well. So we would also have to come up with a strategy to make sure people understood what's going on.
Yeah.
And get the word around town.
So we'll mark for the 29th is to have language from our council on what a combination renewal levy would want.
Yeah, and I can get that to you before the 29th. Once I get it from the legal counsel, I can email it individually and I'll ask some questions.
Sounds good.
Yes,
Yeah,
sounds good.
definitely.
All right. That being said, motion to adjourn.
So,
Kayla moves, do I have a second?
I second.
Jerry seconds. All those in favor?
Aye.
Anybody opposed? Okay, it's 8:20. Meeting's concluded.
Good. Good week, everyone. Goes off, it's dark.